Hi, friends. Welcome and thank you for joining me. I'm John LaCroix, the owner and race director of the Human Potential Running Series, or HPRS for short. If this is your first HPRS race, welcome to the family. We are one of Colorado's largest trail and ultramarathon series and one of the largest ultra series in the United States. We host 13 in-person races each year with events across Colorado and one in Texas. You can learn more at our website, www.humanpotentialrunning.com. This is the pre-race meeting for the official pre-race meeting for the 2025 Silverheels Trail Runs, the 11th annual edition happening this Friday and Saturday, July 11th and 12th in Como, Colorado. This meeting is required viewing for all participants and is designed to help you show up fully informed and prepared. We begin by acknowledging that this race takes place on the traditional lands of the Ute peoples. As stewards of this event, we encourage you to learn more about these peoples and their history through links on our website. If you're tuning in and you still haven't registered, online registration closes Sunday, July 6th at 11:59 p.m. with race day signups available as space allows. T-shirt and awards cutoffs have passed. If you sign up at this time, you might miss out on a shirt, but we should have plenty of awards available. Prices for all of the distances are here on the screen. The 10 mile is $70, 19 mile is $100, 60K is $150. The 50 mile is $180, the 100K is $220. The 100 mile is $385 plus there is the volunteer requirement. These prices were all $30 cheaper when registration opened. We encourage you to sign up for our events early to take advantage of the biggest savings. We'd absolutely love to have you come on out and join us.
I'm going to come.
And have a great time with us on the trails this coming weekend. I think we should have plenty of space if you want to run either in any of these events. So if you're looking to sign up race day, come on out and join us out there. As for the remainder of this meeting, here's what we'll be covering. It's everything you need to finalize your race prep. Folks, we've already sent out the pre-race informational email. In fact, if you're watching this video, you found it within that email, possibly, hopefully. Everything that you need to know about this event is in a multitude of places. This meeting rather is just really to round it out and cover the most important things, because I know not all of you are going to read everything. That's just how we are, right? So if you're watching this and you have a question that isn't answered in all of these places that I'm going to highlight to you, then please, by all means, send us an email and I will respond to you as time allows. We're happy to help. But the best resources for you are as follows. Let me see. So we've got our website. If you go to humanpotentialrunning.com under the events tab, click on Silverheels, and there's a plethora of information here for all of you to interact with. These are all little drop-down menus. If you just click on them, it gives you a link to learn more. Most importantly, it sends you to the Runner's Drive, which is here. In the Runner's Drive, there's information like our runner navigation document. This document details how you can live track yourself and stay found on the course using any of 3 different applications, including Caltopo, Colorado Trails Explorer, also known as Cotrex, Gaia GPS. We also have our aid station charts, so you know where the aid stations are, where drop bags, crews, and pacers are allowed, cutoff times, elevation profiles, maps that you can print out and bring with you, our emergency action plan, so you know that what we're going to do in the event of an emergency, your responsibilities as the runner, historical finisher data, and of course the runner's guide. Looking at that briefly, the runner's guide has everything you need to know about the event in here, including the event schedule, Some of this stuff we're going to go over today: parking logistics, camping, the rules, on and on. Everything is in this document. We also have a folder here where you can download a GPX file of your route and upload it to your phone or other device, whatever you're using. Segment maps for the 50-mile, 100K, and 100-mile course, which are highly detailed aid station to aid station hand-holding walkthroughs for the entire course for those of you in those longer distances. If you're in the 50-mile, 100K, and 100-mile, information for your crews and pacers, including the Crew and Pacer Handbook, all of these things are imperative for you to prepare for the event this weekend. And of course, the pre-race informational email that you also have received. So let's get back to it here. Please use these tools. This meeting is meant to enhance what you've already read. All right, let's talk safety. At HPRS, we treat every participant like an adult. Trail and ultra races are extreme events. Yes, even the 10-mile. No matter the distance, you are stepping into an environment where you are responsible for your safety. You are responsible for your safety. I can't guarantee your well-being, but I can help manage risk. What I ask of you in return is accountability. So, read the guide, bring the right gear, know the course, expect mountain weather. You need to be self-sufficient. There are no volunteers on every corner like in a road race. Bring a headlamp, extra batteries, rain gear. A $2 poncho can be a lifesaver. So can common sense. And please remember, DNF doesn't mean did not finish. It means did nothing fatal. You do not need to prove anything out there. If something feels off, it's okay to stop. We don't post DNF results. So if you're done, it's like you were never there. Sometimes the mountain wins. That doesn't mean that you lost. Stay on course if injured. Tell a runner to communicate your situation to the next aid station. Depending on the circumstances, we'll send a hasty crew to you. Please don't go bushwhacking to a road. That makes things harder for everyone. Let your family know where you'll be and that there's no live tracking. If they want to help, we always need volunteers. Volunteering is the best way to see you on the course. I also want to make mention at this time, I'll have emailed you folks, but a reminder in case you didn't read it, that there is mandatory gear being implemented for the 100-mile and 100K distances on Friday. If you are in the 100-mile and the 100K, this mandatory gear must be on you from Handcart Aid Station, that's mile 7.7, all the way to Terrial 1, that is mile 58. This gear is mandatory for the 100-mile and the 100K from Handcart to Terrial 1. This is being implemented based on the forecast. We do have monsoonal thunderstorms in the forecast the entire week leading up to the event. Looks like we have a break Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, but Friday, the forecast is for the monsoonal storms to return. I do expect thunderstorms on Friday. You will spend many miles above tree line. Please see the course preview video if you want to know about where that is. It's Handcart to Swandyke. It's 20 miles above tree line. With increased exposure and long distances between aid stations with limited crew capabilities. So again, for the first 58 miles, those of you in the 100-mile and 100K, sorry, that's 7.7, Handcart Aid Station to mile 58, you must have a headlamp. You must have extra batteries for that headlamp. You must have rain gear like a rain jacket or a poncho. You must have an emergency blanket. They're super small. You can buy them at Walmart. They're very cheap. You must have an emergency Mylar blanket. You must also have a winter hat and gloves. These are required. If you do not have these items leaving Handcart, you will be disqualified. You will not be allowed to continue. If you get to Michigan Creek and those items still are not on you, you will be disqualified. You will not be allowed to continue. This gear is mandatory for the 100-mile and the 100K on Friday only. Thank you so much for your understanding. At HPRS, we take personal accountability seriously. We expect that you've read the runner guide and the race email and watched this meeting. If someone shows up unprepared, we may refuse service. That's not because we're mean. It's to keep you, our volunteers, and this series safe and sustainable. Again, I recently sent out the pre-race email to all registered runners. If you haven't read it yet, please do. We already took a look inside that runner's Google Drive, which is linked to on our website and within the pre-race email. It's on you to come prepared. That means reading the race email, checking the runner's guide, and showing up with the knowledge and gear to keep yourself safe and successful out there. That includes those of you in the 10 and 19 mile. Just because you're in a shorter distance doesn't mean you can coast by without doing the homework. Please engage with the materials. We are in a wilderness setting for this event. If anything happens to you where we require a definitive emergency response from outside organizations, it will be a while before they arrive. I want to be clear. We do reserve the right to turn away anyone who shows up underprepared. It's not about being harsh. It's about protecting you, our volunteers and staff, and the long-term sustainability of this series. So do the homework, be ready, respect the mountain and the miles. Now let's quickly hit on some core logistics. Parking and camping. Again, if you're planning on camping at the Como Roundhouse, we would absolutely love to have you join us for that. You can sleep in your vehicle, and you can sleep in a tent. If you're going to be sleeping in a tent, you need to reserve a tent space for this. It's $20 for the night, plus taxes and fees. We ask that you please not have larger than a 4-person tent. I will go over where the camping areas are here in a second. You can sleep in your vehicle. You can sleep in a camper van. However, please do not bring a camping trailer or a rooftop tent with you, as we do not have the space to accommodate those. Tent camping will be held in designated campsites only and is available to you for a nominal fee. Again, it's $20. Those who are sleeping in their vehicle, if you're just sleeping in your truck, in your hatchback, in a camper van, you do not need to reserve a tent site. That is for tent campers only. If you are going to rent a tent, we do have tents that you may rent from us. I'll even set it up for you. Those are $40 per night for a rental tent, and we'll set that up. You're responsible for bringing your own sleeping bag, sleeping pad, pillows, and all of that. It is just a tent. And you purchase that online if you need to do that. In terms of parking and camping, let's take a look at what that looks like first at the Como Roundhouse. So everybody's going to be showing up from out US 285, which is coming in from this direction. So 285 is out here. You'll turn in and come in from this direction. There are 2 different points of entry and egress into this first parking area. This is the main parking lot. I do believe we can fit everybody in here for this event. But there is, the in is here and the out is up here. And there will be signs to indicate the in and out. And we ask you to please follow those signs. So in is first, I believe, and out is second. Okay. So we're going to ask you to please follow that if you don't mind. I ask you to please also notice that there is no parking here at the Roundhouse. I know how you folks operate. I've done this a long time. You're going to want to come in and you're going to park your car right here. And then you're going to walk over to where check-in is and grab your things. And then you're going to walk back to your car and get in it. And then you're going to go back to park. Please do not do that. You guys are trail runners. it should be within reason and within your abilities to park in the field and then walk through the property to check in, get what you need, and then walk back. You are not allowed to park here at the gate. This is a very tiny town, and we are guests in this town. Do not park here on the side of the road, on either side of the road, to go check in. You will not be able to drive in and park and then check in. This area is reserved for staff and our volunteers and our staging operation. Also, Saturday is going to be a busy day at the Roundhouse. They have a volunteer day. They're going to be doing a lot of work in there to continue their restoration process. They're going to need this parking for their volunteers. So we are not parking in this area. That's why it is in red. Overflow parking, there's 2 spots. One is here just up around a corner, and the other is on this side of the road. In the runner's guide, it shows you that you can park on this side, but I know that they are doing some work on these buildings in here, and we would kind of interfere with them. So I switched it over to the other side of the road out of respect for them. So you can park in these areas as well, but they are overflow, and we want to try to use them as overflow parking for the event. And in case you're curious, this pink line that I'm drawing now is essentially where the course goes, in and out. And then camping is going to be off to the side of the field here. Tent camping. You can tent camp anywhere in here. You folks are allowed to park down here and tent camp over in here. But those are the areas where our tent camping is located. On this map, you're also going to notice that there's quite a bit of black on the ground. That is coal. That is coal from the old trains that used to come in and out of here. You're not going to want to put a tent in that area. It will stain your tent forever. So this is the parking and camping situation at Como Roundhouse. Thank you so much for your cooperation. What I want to do is move over to the start-finish line for the 100-mile and the 100K. Again, we talked about this. I don't remember if it was the Crew and Pacer video or if I talked about it in the course preview, but I'm going to talk about it briefly again here. I highly recommend and suggest and request respectfully, please, if you can, pay the $25 and get on the shuttle, and we'll shuttle you in. The shuttle is going to drop you off here at the Abyss Trailhead, and then you're going to walk down the road 100 yards to the start of your race, which is here at Burning Bear number 601. And then the course takes off in this direction, okay? But if you must have a loved one, a friend, family member, crew, whatever you want to call them, drop you off in the morning, that is also okay. We have limited parking here at the Abyss Trailhead. Limited parking in the actual parking spots of the Abyss Trailhead. You must park in the actual spots and nowhere else. We also need to make sure that the shuttles can come in and leave. Overflow parking for here is along the side of the highway. What I'd like you to do is first drive in here, see if there's any spots. If there's not, you're going to drive back out, and we're going to park the first car here, and we're going to park cars on the left-hand side of the road facing out. You will be facing the wrong way, and we are parking you marching backwards from there. Once these spots on the side of the road are taken, and once these spots are taken, parking is done, empty, and you guys are only allowed to get dropped off, and then they must leave. This is all a very, very strict condition of our permits. There are no exceptions to this. So thank you so much for your cooperation. Okay, moving on. Runner check-in. There's a number of times that you can check in. Anybody can check in on Thursday night. That would be July 10th at the Como Roundhouse from 5 to 8 p.m. Any distance, anybody, come on up and get yourselves checked in. If you're a pacer and you're looking to sign the pacer waiver and get your pacer bib in advance, you can do it during that span of time as well. You can also do this on Friday. If you're in the 100 mile, we will have check-in at the start line from 3:15 to 4 a.m., something like that, 3:15, 3:30 to 4 a.m. You are not going to get all of your swag. 100K and 100 mile runners, please remember, you may not leave a car for the duration at the start of your race. You must have a ride, either on the shuttle or somebody else. You must have a ride. You cannot leave your car. Okay, so with that in mind, if you're just checking in for the 100 mile or 100K on race morning, that's Friday, we're just giving you a bib there, and you can pick up your swag at the finish line when you're done. Don't leave without it. We will not mail swag. Those of you in the 50 mile and the 60K only, you may pick up between 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Friday night. Only the 50 mile and 60K during that time, Friday night, 7:30 to 9 p.m. at the Como Roundhouse. And then on Saturday morning, that's race morning. For those of you in the 60K, 19 mile, and 10 mile, you can check in between 5 and 8 a.m. at the Como Roundhouse. Here are your start times. If you're in the 100K and 100 mile, please remember you start on Friday at 4 a.m. The shuttle leaves Como at 3. It's a 35-minute drive one way. That will get you there at 3:35 a.m., maybe 3:40. And that gives you 20 minutes to do what you need to do. There will be a porta potty there. We got to get everybody checked in so we know who's starting. And then we take off at 4. 50 milers, remember your race is on Friday night at 9 p.m. That is the start time. You are running through the night. If that surprises you and you're not prepared for that, please do send me an email so we can take care of you by moving you to something on Saturday like the 60K if you would like. And then on Saturday morning, we've got the 60K at 6 a.m., the 10 mile and 19 mile at 8 a.m. Back up a second. I want to let everybody in the 100K and the 100 mile know that there is a mandatory meeting on Thursday night that is discussed in the runner guide. It is at 6:45 p.m. There, we're going to discuss course conditions, any changes, some risk management things, remind you about your mandatory gear, allow you to ask any last-minute questions, and just sit in the glow of belonging before we head into the unknown together. So that is a mandatory meeting Thursday night, 6:45 p.m. for 100K and 100-mile runners. But I need my beauty sleep. Friends, I've run over 20 hundreds. I know as well as you do that nobody sleeps the night before the race, especially before an undertaking quite like this. So if you can show up to that meeting, please do. It is mandatory. If you need an exception, please let me know. Well in advance, not last minute. Please don't no-show it. It's pretty important that we have this meeting. Why is it at 6:45? Those of you who are driving up 285 on a Thursday afternoon to come to the mountains will find out why this meeting is at 6:45. There's a lot of traffic. We want to make sure that everybody makes it in time. So 6:45, my goal is to be done yabbering at you by 7:20, 7:30 at the latest, and then you can go to sleep. Okay. Back to this. This one's important. It's also kind of gross. Please, no lube chips. Now, what are lube chips? If you've never heard of a lube chip, I'm going to tell you what they are. If you've lubed up your hand and your hands are a bit slippery, you're not going to want to dive those into the communal aid station food bowls. A lube chip is when somebody comes into the aid station and they dive their fist down into the Vaseline or chamois butter or whatever it is that they're using, and they rub it all over their nether bits, front and back, nipples, feet, you name it, and then they don't bother to wash their hands. And then they go to the aid station table, and with the same hand, they dive that fist into the potato chips or the M&Ms or the gummy bears or whatever it is. But in this case, we're talking potato chips, and they just created the sin of creating a lube chip. I promise you that nobody wants to have your lube or your nasty hand on the potato chips. It's a communal aid station, right? So again, if you've lubed up and your hands are a bit slippery, do not dive into the communal food bowl. Self-serve is okay, but if your hands are messy, ask a volunteer to help you using scoops or tongs. Let's keep things sanitary for everyone. This is the weather forecast that I got on 4th of July. This could change. Overnight lows in the low 50s, around 50 degrees. That's pretty warm. However, those of you who are running overnight, 100K, 100 miles, 50 milers, it could get down into the low 40s, if not upper 30s, in some of the areas that you will be running in. So I do expect it to be a bit colder. Plan accordingly. It gets pretty chilly out there. We'll have clear skies, full moon. The Milky Way will be on full display. Excited for you to see all that and experience it. There's nothing like it. So we have 2 great nights on, really, that's Thursday night into Friday, and then Friday night into Saturday. Friday, again, we've got partly sunny, but they're calling for afternoon showers, and there's a greater than 60% chance for afternoon showers and thunderstorms on Friday. They have been frequenting the area already as of this meeting. The monsoonal flow is going to turn on here the first half of this upcoming week. A little bit of a break. We're going to have some record highs up in this area. Absolutely hot Thursday and Friday in the area, and a little bit of relief, and it's got to come by way of some rain. So we are expecting some storms on Friday afternoon. That is why we have that mandatory gear implemented. A high of 72, UV is at 13. Please remember, everybody, you are a mile closer to the sun than Denver. If you're from somewhere else, and I'm going to put up here, we have folks coming from 4 countries, U.S., Tanzania, Australia, and Tanzania. I forget what the other one is. It'll show up here at the bottom of the screen, though. And 27 of the U.S. states, more than half of the U.S. states. You folks are coming from everywhere. Please remember, you're at elevation. You're at 2 miles high. And it's a high arid desert on top of that. You folks are going to need to drink more than you thought you would ever need to drink. You're going to need to eat more than you thought you would need to eat. And the effects of elevation are not just on your lungs. It's also on your skin. So sunscreen, bring a hat, wear a hat. UV is going to be high during the afternoon, especially on Saturday. We're still back up to 73 degrees under mostly sunny skies with no forecast for rain at this time. But that could all change. There is a link to a spot forecast from the National Weather Service in your pre-race informational email. Sunrise is around 5:45 a.m. and setting around 8:30 p.m. All right, drop bags. You're welcome to have a drop bag at the Como Roundhouse. That's the start-finish line. And at designated aid stations. So no drop bags for the 10-mile or the 19-mile. Drop bags only for the 60K, 50-mile, 100K, and 100-mile. And please see the aid station chart to learn where they are allowed. So the 100-mile and 100K, you're allowed to have them at Handcart, Michigan Creek, French Gulch, Tarryall, Crooked Creek. 50-milers, you are not allowed to have them at Crooked Creek. You folks are only allowed to have them at Tarryall and Poor Man's. Same thing with the 60K, Tarryall and Poor Man's, not at Crooked Creek. 100-mile and 100K, 100 milers, you can have it at Crooked Creek and Poor Man's, of course. See the aid station chart for more information about drop bags. I'm getting ahead of myself. Drop bags. Label your bag with your bib number. I'm going to assign bib numbers on Monday, July 7th. You can go online, you'll be able to see your bib number on the roster. Label your bag with a piece of duct tape or not, whatever. It's got to have your bib number, the race that you're in, and the aid station that it's going to. So if you're in the 100 mile, you're going to put bib number 108, Terreal, 100 mile. Okay? If you plan on switching distances before you start, wait to put your bib number on it until after we give you a new bib number. Our bibs are color coded based on distance, so we know who we're looking at. So if July 7th, I assign all the bib numbers and you decide, you know what, I'm not going to run the 50 mile. I'm going to drop to the 60K. Wait to put your number on that drop bag until after we give you a new bib number at check-in, okay? No duffel bags if you can hide a body in it, especially one that you've hacked up with a hacksaw.
Bruh.
It is too big. Use it for food, socks, sunscreen, lube, a headlamp, and yes, even a toothbrush. Trust me, brushing your teeth mid-race is magical, especially you 100-milers. Don't leave valuables inside. Bags will not be treated like fine china. Anything left behind gets donated or terminated by 8 p.m. on Saturday night. Do not leave your drop bag behind. They disappear on Saturday evening after the race ends. They won't be shipped, okay? All right, now moving on to crews. There was a crew and pacer meeting for this race. It is linked to in your pre-race info email. It is the runner's responsibility to make sure that your crews and pacers receive all of the pertinent information. That includes the crew and pacer handbook, the email that you received, access to the runner's drive so they know all the rules, they can get the runner guide, and directions to all these aid stations. Every year we have crews walk up at the race. They're like, hi, I need to go to Terreal. How do I get there? And the first thing that I say to them is, well, looks like your runner failed you. Well, actually, they failed themselves. It is the runner's responsibility to make sure their crew and pacer knows exactly where to go and where not to go, when to go there, when not to go there, what to bring, what not to bring. That is your logistics. You need to do that work. We've already provided you with all of the logistics to be able for you to do that. And you got them a week in advance. So that's work that you need to do, and it is an expectation at a minimum that you do that if you have pacers and crews. We might tell your crew how to get there. We might have them scan a QR code that sends them to the information that you should have already sent them so that they can access it themselves. And that's not to be jerks. We are already operating this event on a skeleton crew of volunteers. As of this meeting, we're 18 volunteers shy of what we need to really get this dialed. We don't have time. The whole reason you're getting all of this information as a waterfall to you in preparation of the race is so that you can prepare adequately and you can prepare your loved ones adequately as well. Okay. There's a difference between spectators and crews. A crew is somebody who is giving something or taking something to or from a runner. Spectators are just watching. Spectators are also only allowed at crew stops. A spectator is considered a part of your crew. Each runner is only allowed one crew vehicle. You will receive a placard at check-in that must be visible in the vehicle to indicate that that is your crew in their vehicle. No placard, you could be towed. One crew vehicle per runner. Crews and spectators and pacers, if possible, must all arrive to these aid stations in just one vehicle. In the crew and pacer meeting, we cover all of this. Especially how you can do your own shuttle operation, park elsewhere, shuttle people in, where to park, how to park at these stations. Everything is discussed in that meeting. So crews are allowed at approved aid stations only. Spectators are only allowed at crew approved aid stations only as well. So If you're looking at a map and you can see that, oh, well, the course goes up to Georgia Pass and I know that I can drive up there. Yeah, that is true. You could drive up there, but you will get your runner disqualified because you're a part of our race. Even though it's public land, you are at our race under our permit, and that is a violation of our permit, and that could jeopardize the race for us. So please only go to the stations that are approved for you to go. Crews and pacers are only allowed for runners in the 50 mile, 100K, and 100 mile. It is standard in our sport that crews and pacers are not allowed for any distance below 50 miles in length. That's just generally not a thing in our sport. Okay, so if you're somebody who's just, oh, I'm in the 10 mile and I want my family to be there at Tarryall, I do apologize. That is not allowed. 50 mile, 100K, 100 mile only. Same thing with you 50Kers. Don't send any crew members or spectators out to Poor Man's to see you at your turnaround or at Tarryall your second time through. You will be disqualified. Pacers, the only exception is if you're aged 60 or older, you may have a pacer at any point and for the duration of the run. Anybody aged 60 and older may have a pacer at any time. Okay. Again, spectators, if they're not in the crew operation, they're welcome at the start-finish area, nowhere else. And please respect the landowners. There is private property when you folks are going to these aid stations to crew and to pace. There's a reason we have very strict parking protocols. It's to be respectful of the private, of the neighbors that are around in these areas that we're recreating this weekend. Also, there is no live tracking. And please don't ask volunteers where your runner is. We need the volunteers' attention on safety and tracking, not fielding questions. This is also discussed in the crew and pacer meeting. Please head on over and watch that meeting so you can learn how you can live track your runner using your own technology. We've outlined that for you. It's pretty easy in today's day and age. Technology is a wonderful thing. Head on over to the crew and pacer meeting, and all of that's discussed in there, okay? All right. Mid-race drop down. This is one of the races where we have this option. If you bit off more that you can chew, if you're not having a great day, you're just not feeling it, anything, any reason, something happened, doesn't matter. Again, first of all, we don't publish did not start or DNF information in the results. In the results, it only lists everybody who finished and their time. So if you don't show up, it's not going to show up anywhere. If you start the race and you don't finish, it's not your day. Great. That doesn't show up anywhere either. All right. It's like you were never there. But we do offer some opportunities for you to keep going and accomplish some greatness on race weekend with us. And we'd love to help facilitate that and allow you to walk away having had an awesome experience. So if you're in the 100 mile, and along the way you miss a cutoff, let's say you missed the first cutoff. Well, if you miss the first cutoff, chances are you might still be within the 100K cutoff. They have different cutoffs. So if you're still within the 100K cutoff, we will allow you to drop down from the 100 mile to the 100K. And now you're in the 100K. And when you finish, you will get a finisher's award and your time in the 100K results. Also, 100 milers, when you get to Tarryall 1, that is a huge decision point for you. The decision is you're going to commit to continuing in the 100 miler or you're going to call 100K good enough. If you're going to call 100K good enough from Tarryall 1, whatever time it is, you're just going to, as long as you're within the cutoffs, you're going to keep going and you're going to finish the 100K. And again, finisher's award, name in the 100K results. Or if you say, I'm going to keep going on the 100 mile and you head for Crooked Creek, anytime that you drop after that, you will unfortunately be a DNF. So basically, you get to decide this so long as you're within the 100K cutoffs all the way up to Tarryall 1 and at Tarryall 1. If you're in the 100 mile, you get to decide if you're going to drop down to the 100K. 50 milers, you're going to decide at the to drop down to the 60K if you would like, and that is at Poor Man's 1. So the first time you get to Poor Man's, it will still be the middle of the night. There is a cutoff there. If you miss it, you can drop to the 60K and head back following the 60K route. It is the same route. So at Poor Man's 1, 50 milers can decide to drop down to the 60K. And then if you finish, again, results are in the 60K, you get a finisher's award. If you leave Poor Man's for High Park, if you've left Poor Man's for High Park and you haven't dropped down, and then you decide you've had enough or you don't make it, you will be a DNF. 19 milers, you decide at Terrial 1 if you're going to do the 19 mile or not. If you get to Terrial the first time and you're like, 10 miles is going to be enough for me, you can turn around there, head back, finish the 10 mile. We'll give you a result in the 10 mile and a finisher's award. But if you leave Terrial 1 and start heading up the mountain towards the 19 mile turnaround and then you don't finish, you will be a DNF. Also, I want to mention that those of you in the 50 mile and the 60K, you all go to Terrial for your first aid station. When you get there, you can also decide at that moment, you know what, I'm already not feeling it, and drop to the 10 mile and just turn around and go back and finish the 10 mile. We'll put you in the 10 mile results and give you a finisher's award. So that's just the 50 mile and the 60K. There is no drop down option for the 10 mile or the 100K. No dogs, not on course, not in camp, not anywhere. It's a hard no.
Do not come.
We love your furry pals, but they're a safety issue and our insurance does not cover incidents involving them. So thank you for not bringing your dogs. Also, last year I did disqualify 4 runners for bringing their dog to the roundhouse and leaving them in the car while they were doing their things. Don't even bring your cars with the plan to lock them in the car. That is just, I don't even, how could you, I personally have my neurodivergent brain has a hard time reconciling how you can love dogs so much with a plan to leave them locked in the car for any length of time. No dogs. Thank you so much.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Sorry, friends, we actually don't need more cowbell. I know, it's kind of a trail running thing, but at HPRS, we've chosen to go a different route for a few important reasons. First, we share these spaces with wildlife. Sudden, repetitive noise, like cowbells, can cause unnecessary stress to the animals who call these areas home. Second, many of our races happen near private residences, and we want to be good neighbors and respectful guests on the land. And finally, and most importantly, we strive to create an inclusive environment for all runners. Some of our participants and crew members and staff are neurodivergent, and loud, jarring sounds like cowbells can be overwhelming or even triggering. We're all about cheering, clapping, hooting, and hollering in ways that lift each other up, just without the bells. Thanks for helping us keep the vibe strong and the volume respectful. I got some show and tell. When you check in, you're going to receive your bib. They haven't arrived yet. They'll be here Monday. Don't worry, they're coming. You're going to get your bib and swag, plus anything else we've got on hand to say thanks for being there. So I do want to show you some of the things. Everybody's going to get one of these drawstring bags. We have some in purple. We have some in red. Everybody's going to get one of these cool little bags. And inside the bag, you're going to find an HPRS die cut sticker. You're going to find a Silverheels Trail Runs die cut sticker. You're also going to find a sample of chamois butter personal lubricant. Okay, everybody's going to get at least that. Also, everybody is going to receive one of these bracelets. These are new. These are a new thing here. These little red bracelets. You can wear it. You can put it in your pack. You can hang it somewhere. But on this bracelet, it says, "Nobody finishes alone. We rise together or not at all." This is a hugely important thing. I call it our Rise Together wristband, and there's something sacred about it. This isn't about finish time at all. It's about how you showed up out there. So this wristband is for you to give to a fellow runner, maybe somebody on your crew, maybe a pacer, maybe a volunteer or a member of our staff. But you give this wristband to somebody to see them, to thank them, to appreciate them, to make sure that they know that their presence and the work that they did was a huge part of your journey. And that's so incredibly important. We want folks to know who they impacted. So these wristbands aren't about glory, they're about character. And we're proud to celebrate the kind of people who make this community what it is. So while you're out there on the course this weekend, please give these wristbands to any individual who you feel is deserving of some thanks. We also have the Spirit of the Trail Merit Badge. It's the same idea. This badge is awarded by nomination from your fellow runners or your aid station captains. It's for the folks who embody what HPRS stands for: compassionate support, helping others, lifting the community, leaving the trail better than you found it, volunteering, or simply being that person whose kindness or grit left a mark on someone's race. So if you've already given your wristband away and there's someone else that you want to recognize, or maybe there's just somebody that you want to go the extra mile in recognizing, nominate them for the Spirit of the Trail Award, and we'll gladly give them one. Okay, let's see, what else do I got? Bibs. I got to talk about a couple extra things here at check-in. I want folks to notice that on the back of their bib, this is an example, this is from a different race, but on the back of your bib is a little bit of a reflection thing that you can do. So if you're somebody that saves your bibs and you want to remember some of your highlights or lowlights or anything from the race, you want to reflect and remember your journey, make notes, that's there for you to be able to do that. Also, we have this race log and reflections log. It's like a personal reflection journey. You could put the race name here, and it's a reflecting journal. It's more than the bib. It allows you to go a little bit deeper. And inside, you could just journal about your journey to and through this race, what you learned, what you have yet to learn, who impacted your race. These are free. Please only take one if you're going to use it, but they'll be out there. We'd love to have you take one if that interests you. Finishers awards look like this. If you're in the 50 mile, I think we have some special finishers awards that have like a bottle opener built into them, if you'd like. 50 milers only. So these are 3-dimensional laser cut wood. Very cool. At HPRS, we don't do podiums. There's no first, second, or third place, no age group trophies. It's not that we don't value performance, we just value people more. Your story belongs here whether you finish first, last, or not at all. The goal isn't the finish line, it's discovering who you are along the way. Some people build races to crown champions. I build them to reveal character. So whether you come in first or last, everyone gets the same Finishers Award. That's the tradition in old school ultra running, and we honor it here. All finishers are equals. Unless, of course, you come in dead last. So let's talk about it. Dead fucking last. That's right, it's a position we actually celebrate. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Because the person who finishes DFL, they spent the most time on their feet, dug the deepest, and showed the greatest perseverance to see it through. If that's you, you'll get your Finishers Award, a special DFL trophy. This is the one for the 100K. You get this special trophy and a comp entry to a future HPRS race. Also, if you see me out there and you want to say, hey, crews, pacers, whoever, let's say a quick hello. Come on up, introduce yourself. I'll introduce myself. I'll thank you for coming. You could say, hey, John, can I have one of those stickers? And absolutely. And I will give you our No One Cares About Your Strava sticker. if you haven't figured this out yet, God love you. I hope you do. No one cares about your Strava. I've already given out over 2,000 of these over the last 6 months. That's how many people are grabbing them and handing them out to their friends and putting them on their car and their bottles. I had a story of a runner that had this on their car, and somebody actually took the time to write a fuck you note to the fact that they had this on their car. Amazing, right? Somebody's ego is so butthurt by this that they needed to leave a note on someone's car. Vandalism. So cool. These are free. Happy to give them out. If you see me, come introduce yourself. I would love to give you one of these. And it's also just a friendly reminder of what we're doing here and what we're not. A huge thank you to our partners, El Dorado Natural Spring Water. They've been our hydration sponsor since 2014. That's when we started. Chamois Butter, some of your swag is thanks to them. Again, you're going to get a sample of their lube. Their lube will be out at our aid stations. We will not have base hydro out on the course. We're going to have goo Roctane. 100K and 100-mile runners you're going to do self-serve with the scoop. It won't be in a jug pre-made. If you need some, the volunteers are going to help you mix it. And that'll be at Handcart, Swan Dyke, Georgia Pass, Michigan Creek, French Gulch, Boreas, and High Park. 50 milers at High Park. You will serve yourself with that, with the scoop, okay? Poor Man's, Crooked Creek, Tarryall, those 3 stations, they're going to have a jug of it going all around the clock. You guys don't need to scoop. It'll already be made. We appreciate all these folks' continued support. That's everything I had to cover. If you have any questions that cannot be answered in the materials provided or on our website, please send a friendly email. I'd be happy to help you out. And don't forget to check out our next 3 races at the Human Potential Running Series. You can find full details on our website, www.humanpotentialrunning.com. We'd love to have you for the Sheep Mountain Trail Runs on August 2nd. Also in Fair Play, we have a half marathon, 50K and 50 mile. Late September, the leaves are changing, the aspens will be quaking, and we'll be down in the Sangre de Cristo for the Trail Festival in Westcliff, September 27th and 28th. We have an 8-mile, 27K, 50K, 50 mile, 100K, 100 mile. Plenty of room. Would love to have you. Dark sky community. You've never seen stars like that. It's worth the camp out. It's just worth the camp out. If you can't run, come volunteer. We'd love to have you as a volunteer down there. Amazing experience at the Sangre de Cristo Trail Festival. And then in October on the 18th, Indian Creek Trail Runs in Sedalia. That's basically Littleton/Castle Rock, right here in the Front Range. We have a 5-mile, a 15-mile, a 55K, and a 50-mile. You can find out more about those on our website. That's all that I have. Thank you so much for watching the pre-race video for the Silverheels Trail Runs. Big weekend, a lot of runners. We have over 270 of you registered for all of these events across 2 days. The course spans 90 miles of unique U.S. Forest Service and county roads and trails. We are recreating in Summit County and Park County. We are in 2 different national forests, 3 different Forest Service ranger districts. We have over 50 volunteers coming out to serve you, all of your crews, pacers, spectators, family, friends, loved ones. It's going to take the entire village for this event to be hugely successful, for everybody to have a good time and a positive experience. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for interacting with all of the other materials so that we all can have a great, successful event. I look forward to seeing everybody in the high country for the Human Potential Running Series. I'm John LaCroix.